Hey, it's Rachel Grae, and I'm hanging with Rob on Front Row Live.
What's up, guys? Rob here, Front Row Live Entertainment. I am reunited with Rachel Grae. It's been a few years. I was so excited to be sitting here with you. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. How are you?
So good. So much has changed. So much has happened with your music, your career. You've evolved. You've grown so much in the music industry. And I'm curious, like going back to, a few years ago when we first sat down and talked, how do you feel that you've kind of evolved as an artist, but also even as a songwriter and performer?
Everything has changed in an incredible way. I feel like my music specifically has just become, I feel like every time it's like I'm discovering myself at the same time as discovering my sound and what I want to say. So probably from the first time we spoke, a lot has changed, just more maturing, more knowing what I want to say.
Yeah.
On the live side, I think that was my first show ever playing on like an opening tour.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I've done my own headline tour now, which is awesome. I'm playing Lollapalooza this summer. I'm doing a lot more in that space too, which is so fun. But yeah, I've grown a lot since the last time we've spoken.
I wanna talk about that though, because that was your first opener, and then now you just wrapped up your headline tour. So how would you say that experience of being an opening act helped you to get or to become that headliner that you were just a few days ago?
It's like getting reps in like you would any other way, but just having to get up on stage and doing it a million times, you become more confident in it every single time. I'm so grateful for anybody that brings me on the road, and I get to experience that. You also learn from each other, so it was a really cool experience. But you also find more love every single time when you get to meet the people face to face that are following you online.
Yeah.
Going on my own headline tour was the coolest thing in the world, and meeting everybody afterwards was even more special than actually performing. So yeah, it's like my favorite thing out of everything that I do. So I'm really lucky that I got to do that.
What were some favorite moments that you had on this tour? And what song would you say that your audience kind of gravitated towards the most when you were performing these songs live?
My song, Hope You're Proud, I actually didn't have it in my set list. And I remember after playing the first two shows, I got so many people saying, hey, can you please play that? I've lost somebody really close to me. And I was really looking forward to that, which I obviously felt terrible for not playing the first two. Yeah. So when I'm back, I'll be playing for them. But the Pin Drop Silence was crazy with that song. And the reaction and people telling their own stories that they relate to was so special. Seeing people cry in the crowd was heartbreaking, but also just knowing that my words can heal other people in that way was really, really special.
Man, how impactful was that? Seeing them not just singing back, but crying with you. I mean, these were stories that you created in vulnerable moments. So, the fact that someone else is feeling it and showing it to you while you're performing it live, like that must be wild.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I avoided playing that song because it hit me so hard, and I was like, I don't want to cry on stage. But sometimes that's also what people want to see in a weird way, just to, see raw vulnerability and somebody they look up to in a way of just like knowing that they also feel those things. It was more the connection after the show of them being like, this song related to a family member that just passed away last week, or there was one show where somebody wasn't going to go because they lost someone like the day before and came, and they were like, that was the most healing thing I've ever experienced.
Needed that,
So very lucky that I get to have that outlet where I can give that to somebody else. It was awful seeing people cry, but also amazing in the same way, because it felt like one therapy session, a huge therapy session together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because when we talked about it, it was just like your audience on social media. And then now you get to actually be with them.
It's awesome.
And experience those moments.
Yes.
That must have been impactful too, like even in the creative sense, where it's like now when you go back into the studio or when you create more music, I feel like now you have this audience in mind. You have these emotions and these moments in mind as well. And I'm sure it kind of changes the direction or the way that you've been creating music in the past.
Yeah, big time. It has. I feel like in the past I was also trying to think while writing the song, what would they like, rather than...
You were unsure.
Yeah, rather than like now I go in and I write for myself and know that it's going to connect to somebody in a way that connects for them.
That's cool.
So there's just a huge difference in my writing process where I thought I was, being incredibly vulnerable and I was like at the time, that's exactly what it was for me. And it always will be. But now it's like, I go in and I write these songs to heal myself and know that it's going to heal other people with just me being as true as I possibly can be. Rather than thinking about them in the studio. It's more knowing outside of the studio that as raw as I could be in it, that's as equally raw they could be with the songs afterwards. Yeah, it's crazy to actually like think about it now, knowing how I used to view it and how I write now.
But even then, like that time was the How Dare You era.
Yes.
And, that was you were still somewhat new to songwriting, someone new to opening up and being vulnerable. You released an album after that, Journal Number 1. And again, it's like you open up even more, but I felt like you open up in so many different ways with this record. So I'm curious, like from How Dare You to now, how do you feel that your songwriting has evolved, but also like the way that you talk about these topics and stories?
I think it's just maturing. I feel like the coolest thing is that we're all kind of growing up together in a way, the people that have followed me since then. Just like that breakup in general is just crazy to think about, and the amount that I've learned and grown from that and just my mind shift. I feel like that's the same in my writing, and the way that I share stories is just, I think differently on those topics now. Love like that is not out of anger anymore for me. It's not like I hate you because you hurt me. It's more like, okay, we weren't meant to be, and that's fine. And
I'm better. I moved on.
Yeah, like we're just not meant to be together, and that's what it comes down to. So sometimes I will go in the studio and I am angry still, but sometimes that anger isn't like I hate you, but rather like why would I let myself experience that? So I think it's just my different perception of relationships in general and just life in general.
Did that perception change the way that you go into that writing session? Because with How Dare You, for example, like it was in the moment type of situation.
Yes.
So do you still do the in the moment type of writing, or do you let it kind of simmer before you go into the studio and start writing about a topic?
I definitely...
Or does it even matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. I think I just follow whatever I feel that day. So if there is something that happened while driving to the session, I will write about it. And for my next, like the music that I've been making, I feel like it's been me reflecting a lot on who I was versus who I am now.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of bringing up topics that I never wrote about that has been like living with me, and I just never wanted to. So it's probably my deepest music I've ever made, just because it's been things that I've, hidden in or tried not to think about for so long that now I have a, more mature outlook on the situation, and now I could actually write about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it completely depends on what the topic is.
Has that been scary?
Yeah, terrifying. So scary. So scary. It's opening a can of worms that I never thought I'd touch again. So terrifying.
So the more that you test out these new ways of writing and open up these new darker, I don't know, topics, does it matter who the producer is? Like, do you have a set group of producers that you can only be that way with?
100%. Joe Janiak and Dave Gibson are two people that I could only speak incredibly, incredibly highly of. They're my favorite people in the world. They have pushed me to make the most vulnerable, raw, authentic music that I could possibly make. And I never realized that creating with specific people and, keeping it consistent, how special and how real music could come out of that, because you don't have to go into a session and re-explain every single time what you're going through, and it's more a continuation of what's been happening the day before when we wrote a song. But I remember my co-writer Dave looked at me, and I was kind of like, I thought I was getting deep into the topic, and he was like, no, we are getting to the bottom of the pit.
Oh,
like,
shit.
We are going all the way. And I was like, what?
You almost want to just lay back and be like, all right, therapy session.
And we did that. Like, we literally did that. We, like, half of our sessions were just deep talks and writing it out. And like, it was just, we had some cries. We had everybody opened up. It was like I created an entire family, and Joe was there, the producer, who just kind of took what we said and tried forming that into music in such a raw and real way to make all the instruments connect. It was just the coolest thing. Like, it was the coolest experience ever.
How would you say that allowed you to or how would you say that the control of your voice kind of changed during that process? Because now it's like you're going into the pit. Like this is some heavy stuff.
So much. There was so much growth. Literally, we wrote for a month together, and just us. Yeah. And I came out of that experience a completely different person. Like I wrote a lot about my experiences when I used to live in a specific place, and I never thought that I'd ever move back. Yeah. And then I moved back there just because I healed so much from it and was like, cool, I could go back and re-experience life. Yeah, like there was so much, but with my voice and actually singing the songs, it was the same thing of them pushing me, being like, no, you're not thinking of the words. Because when we were talking about it, you were crying. So why on the mic do you just sound...
Who is this person?
Yeah, why do you just sound like you're just singing another person's song? Like, this is your words and this is deep. And I didn't stop until I got the take that was equally as raw as the lyrics were. So, yeah, really, really special.
Damn.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But in the same sense, you just dropped a new single right now, Raised by a Woman, which is different. It's a different sound. It's a different style. It's more upbeat than what we're used to hearing from you. So, how was this writing process? Like, what kickstarted that writing process for you for Raised by a Woman?
I'm happier, first of all. So let's start there. But I went into the session for Raised by a Woman, and we were talking about a specific experience in my relationship life and how the person that I've been with was raised by a woman. And I could tell by the traits and the, like the comfort and the patience that he was just raised correctly. Yeah. And the way that he treats women in his life is just a true reflection of like how he treats me. So it was really cool, and I feel like it taught me to raise my bar and what to look for, and that my bare minimum should never be touched. That's just like a given, and that's not the traits that you're like, okay, we could be with them. So it was really cool to write in the point of actually feeling loved rather than craving it. And I walked in being like, yeah, you could just tell he was raised by a woman. And they were like, that's sick. Like, that's so cool. And we ran with it. But it was just fun. Like, I remember when we first started, we were going to take it either in a really, like, sad, like, I could tell that you were, like, raised by a woman and kudos to her and all this stuff. And then we were like, no, this is fun. This is just, like, an anthem to teach people what to look for and to never settle for less, because there is somebody out there that will treat you that way.
Yeah. True.
Crazy.
That's true. I think our last interview, I had mentioned you need to stop looking in the wrong places.
Yes. I remember we spoke about love I've been jealous of.
Yes, exactly.
And I think I found the love I've been jealous of.
Yes. We're winning.
We are.
I love the fact that not only is this a different type of sound, but also like, I love that you give us this very nostalgic throwback type of melody. It feels so old school in a sense. What inspired that? And what was it like recording to a melody like that?
It's really funny you asked that, because there was a period like in between finishing that last album and starting to write again that I felt this disconnect of what my sound used to be. It felt like exactly who I was at the time. Mm-hmm. And there was this weird shift in my headspace that was like, I don't think that's who I am anymore. Like, I feel like I've grown with it and out of it and just like evolved. And the way I found this new sound was by listening to everything that I never did.
Wow.
So I went back and I told everybody in my life that's a lot older than me to send me music that they listen to gosh. And give me their favorite artists. And I made a playlist, and that's the only playlist that I listened to for a month. Wow. And I tried to stop scrolling on social media, and I just tried to live with myself and not look at any external human that can inspire me. Yeah. Just things that I never would have dove into, and it made me really find that I love the organic, old school, soulful pop music that it's more like classics. And I love them now. And and it's really inspired my new sound.
Yeah,
just
nice.
you know, pulling myself outside of the top 100 hits, but love the top 100 hits too.
But I love this new direction because we get to experience a different side of your voice as well, not just the songwriting, but like your voice too. We know that you can give us those like very, I'm getting into your heartstrings type of sound, but
Right.
like you can also give us this like upbeat type of vibe and change the tone that you provide as well with your vocals.
Thank you. Yeah, I never thought that I could do it. Like if you asked me a year ago and showed me my songs now and been like, this is yours, I would have been like, what are you talking about? Like, no, it's not. I'm a sad girl.
Wow.
It's a sad girl pop forever. But yeah, I'm trying to show exactly who I am and show that through my music and show that through everything. And there's times where I am sad and I will write songs that are deeper. And then there's other songs where I'm happy and I actually want to show that I'm happy. So it feels nice to finally promote something that I feel in the moment. And it's not something that I wrote and experienced, you know, before and was like, okay, I think other people will want this. It's more like I'm currently living this and I want other people to feel it with me. So to bring joy rather than sadness, I think it's cool to give my audience something else and dance to it and have fun with it rather than cry.
No, that's cool. And at the same time, because it's a more upbeat type of track, would you say that it impacted the way that you're recording the vocals? Because now you're doing cardio
For
on stage
sure.
when you're singing.
Oh my God,
So
yeah.
how did that change for you?
Everything does, but performing those types of songs, my favorite thing in the entire world. Like ever. I love my ballads, but the upbeat stuff and just seeing other people's energy with it. Like every time I play that song, I'm like, okay, I want to dance. Like I want to move around a little bit, which that's not my music that I'm used to. That's the songs that I used to listen to and dance to on my own. So yeah, it's nice to finally feel like I'm living in the present with myself and with my music. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a different outlook I have on my music now.
Yeah. And this is a new direction for you. So would you say that, you know, this direction is easier to write to because you're in a happier place versus like talking about topics that maybe you question whether or not you would want to put it, you know, out there?
Definitely. It feels the most authentic I've been and true to myself that I've been. But I'm sure if you asked me about How Dare You, that was exactly how I felt and where I was with my life at that time. Like I remember when I was writing that song, I was like, dang, this is like raw and real in the moment. And that's how I feel about this new music. But I feel like I'm just leaning into what feels correct now rather than what I think is correct. And there's a huge difference in that. And it makes me, you know, believe in like my project and who I am a million times more. And some of the upbeat songs that will be coming out, some have like really sad topics underneath it. And it is deep, but you can choose to get there and really dig in and listen to the words, or you could just surface level listen to it and have fun and drive with your windows down and have a good time.
I'm curious because, you know, we were kind of talking about it off camera, but, you know, back then it was your family. That was your team.
Yes.
Your dad listened to a track that he shouldn't have listened to back then.
For
that
sure.
was like, how did he do that? You know, like, and now you have a label backing you. You have a team that's, you know, part of the Rachel Grae community.
Yeah.
How impactful is that for you now that, you know, you have this team, you can focus on your music, but also what does it mean to you to be able to have a team and someone like this label?
Yeah, I think in the past, I kind of, calling myself out, craved a little bit of external validation. Like I really wanted my family and my friends to love what I do and like love every song and every word I put into music. And before I ever expanded my team, I wrote a bunch of new music that I was like, this is me. Mm-hmm. Like, and if they don't like it, then we're not meant to be. And it was me first and then them second. Nice. But the coolest part is that the reason why I ended up signing and expanding my team was because they were like equally as passionate and loved what I did. And it was more of a, hey, this is me. And if you want to be part of this, I would love that. But if not, no worries. I'm just going to keep going. Yeah. And they were 100% on board and such an incredible team. And I'm so lucky and fortunate to have people backing my music that I believe so much in. It's really special that I could finally get to a place where I don't really care what
people think.
Yeah, like I always, you know, I care what the people that follow me think, and but it's not in a way of that's what's the deciding factor for me now. It's more of just, cool, if you guys need this song, like, happy to give it. And if there's always topics that, you know, I see other people really feeling at the moment, I'm an empath. I'm going to feel it too. And I'm going to write it. Like, I still write for other people. And half of my songs that are out right now is because a friend called me in the middle of my session and was like, hey, I'm going through it. I'm like, I got you, girl. Like 100%. And that will be forever. Yeah. It's just less of if I show somebody a song and they're like, ooh, I'm not like, okay, that needs to be buried and it needs to go, because it was,
you still believe in it.
Yeah, it's my words and it's what I needed to get out. And I know somebody is going to need it too. So yeah, just knowing that my team believes in everything that I say and, you know, wants to support everything 100% that I believe in, and my creative outlook is such an honor and such a gift, and I feel grateful that they trust me.
That's cool. No more insecurities.
No, always insecurities, but not as bad.
So you just wrapped this headline run. You're about to be at Lollapalooza, first time ever, in August.
Crazy.
And what does that mean to you? I mean, how excited are you for Lollapalooza?
Oh, it means everything to me.
And what can your audience expect and look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, the people on this bill that I'm sharing stages with are people I've looked up to and love, and I'm so grateful to be part of that. And I've always looked at Lollapalooza and Govball, and you know, I've grown up on that stuff, and I love music. So just to be a name on that list is awesome, and I'm really honored to be there. I am really excited to share the new music that I've been working on, and even Raised by a Woman. Like, I cannot wait to perform that at Lollapalooza. That's going to be the first time that I play that song live, and it's going to feel really, really special to me. But yeah, I've already started prepping for Lolla. I'm already in the works with my music director and my band to start working on it. So yeah, there's a lot to expect. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm really excited to meet the people there and just to, you know, experience a good time with everybody that loves music at Lolla.
Yeah. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to more from you. I'm excited that we got to reconnect. Before we close out, I'm curious, from then to now, what would you say that you've learned? What was the biggest life lesson that you've had, either about your personal self, like trying to make it in this industry, or about your artistry, trying to like put your music out there?
I think the biggest thing that I learned from then to now is that there's no such thing as a box. Like, you don't need to fit into this box that you think you need to fit into. Like, you're allowed to evolve and, you know, learn and grow, and so is your music. And you don't need to stay in a comfort zone. I think the most uncomfortable you can be is the most that you're going to learn. I actually saw this thing yesterday, if I could come up with this quote. But it was something like, your comfort... wait, let me think, because it was so good. I have it in my notes. It was something saying that living comfortably keeps you in your safe space and makes you gain self-love. And being uncomfortable makes you gain self-respect. Oh. And that hit me really hard, because I think that's where I was living forever, where I was like, the more uncomfortable I could be, the more respect I'm going to gain for myself, knowing that I, you know, lived uncomfortably to get to where I am. So that's what I've learned for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's like a full circle moment.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Well, I can't wait to reconnect with you. I'm sure the next time it'll be even bigger.
Yes.
But thank you so much for reuniting with me. You guys be sure to check out Rachel Grae. New single, Raised by a Woman, is out now. And be sure to catch her at Lolla if you're going to Lolla. And thanks for watching on Front Row Live.
Thank you.